Welcome to another REACHLaw Deep Dive. Today, we are turning our attention to a regulatory landscape that's really dominating the strategic planning for anyone in the chemical industry right now. The Turkish chemical regulation, KKDIK. Specifically, we're looking at a critical compliance milestone coming up in 2026.
It is a complex landscape, you're right, and the timeline is exceptionally tight. We're really looking at a pivotal moment here, one that determines market access to a critical trade hub.
Exactly. And our mission for this deep dive is to unpack the March 31st, 2026 deadline. This one's for the lead registrants. We're basing our analysis today on the KKDIK Procedures and Principles document, which was published by the Turkish Ministry of Environment and Climate Change back in August 2025.
Yes, that document is the primary reference point. It really outlines the procedural mechanics that companies have to follow to stay compliant.
Let's start with the central question here. We see a lot of deadlines in chemical regulations, but why is March 31st, 2026 described as a critical milestone for the entire process and not just for one company?
To understand the gravity of that date, you have to look at the architecture of KKDIK itself. The whole regulation is built on this principle of one substance, one registration.
Meaning you can't just go it alone.
Exactly. Companies can't just file their own paperwork in isolation. The system mandates a joint submission. So that date you mentioned, March 31st, 2026, is the hard deadline for the lead registrants to submit their lead dossier. And they do that through the chemical registration system, the KKS.
And this applies across the board, regardless of tonnage.
That's correct, and it's a key point of confusion sometimes. While the final deadlines are staggered by tonnage, this specific March 31st deadline for the lead registrant is uniform. It's the same for everyone.
So could you clarify the relationship between the lead and the co-registrants? It sounds like a strict dependency.
It is a hierarchy of dependency. The lead registrant is responsible for the core technical dossier. All the toxicological data, the physicochemical data, that's on them. Under KKDIK, standalone submissions just aren't permitted. So every other company, the co-registrants, they can't submit their own files until the lead has successfully submitted that core dossier.
So the co-registrants are essentially waiting for the lead to unlock the door for them.
That's a very accurate way to put it. Think of the lead's dossier as the foundation of a building. If that foundation isn't laid by March 31st, 2026, then, well, nothing else can be built.
That brings up a practical challenge. I mean, things go wrong, data gaps appear. What happens if a lead registrant hasn't finished compiling everything for a full registration by that deadline? Is the door just shut?
The ministry anticipated that. The guidance introduces the concept of the Provisional Lead Registration Dossier. It's a crucial mechanism.
A provisional dossier. How is that different from a full one?
It's a bridge, really. It has reduced data requirements, which are specified in the procedures document. It allows the lead registrant to meet that March 31st deadline without having the complete final data set ready to go.
So by submitting this provisional version, they keep the process moving.
Yes. Submitting it grants them an extension to complete the full dossier. It's a deferral, not an exemption. They still have to provide all the data.
And what are the new timelines they get if they use this option?
Once that provisional dossier is in, the lead registrant gets until one of the later deadlines to finish up. Those are December 31st, 2026, December 31st, 2028, or December 31st, 2030, depending on the tonnage and classification.
And those are the final compliance deadlines we hear so much about.
Correct. But the key takeaway is that access to those later dates is completely contingent on getting something either full or provisional in by that March 31st, 2026 hurdle.
You cannot skip the March step.
You cannot skip it. If you do, those later dates become irrelevant. The process has failed.
Let's get into some of the technical specifics. The August 2025 procedures mention some localization hurdles. Language, for example.
Yes, this is a significant one. The source material is very explicit. All data for the lead registration has to be provided in the Turkish language. Everything. And this is not a small task. A mistranslation in a chemical safety report could, completely change the risk profile and lead to rejection.
And there's also a specific certification required. I understand it has to be signed off by a certified chemical assessment expert, a KDU.
That's right. It's a specific professional qualification in Turkey. You can't just have your internal regulatory manager sign it. It has to be a certified KDU.
That seems like a potential resource bottleneck.
It is. Companies need to be securing that resource well in advance.
Okay, let's walk through the worst-case scenario. What happens if a lead registrant just misses the March 31st, 2026 deadline completely? No full dossier, no provisional one.
The consequences are severe, and not just for them. The main impact is that no joint registration can proceed at all.
Because of that dependency we talked about?
Precisely. The whole process just stops for everyone in that substance group.
And the business impact of that.
It's an immediate compliance void. The substance is non-compliant. So you're looking at market access risk, potential penalties,
Supply chain disruption.
massive supply chain disruption. If you can't legally register it, you can't legally import it or manufacture it in Turkey, it creates huge uncertainty down the line.
So, given the high stakes, what are the immediate action plans? For the co-registrants first, what should they be doing right now?
Co-registrants cannot be passive. First, active engagement. You have to check if your lead registrant is actually working towards the deadline. Don't just assume. Contact them, confirm their plan full or provisional. If you get radio silence, that is a major red flag. And at the same time, prepare your own data. Make sure your company info is ready for Turkish translation and that you have a plan for getting your own KDU sign-off once the lead registrant opens the gate.
And for the lead registrants themselves, the ones in the driver's seat.
For them, priority one is finishing that dossier, whether it's full or provisional. That's the critical path. They also need to be coordinating with co-registrants on timelines, managing the data sharing agreements, the letter of access.
And the technical side.
Yes. Familiarize yourself with the KKS submission portal now. Don't wait until the last week of March. Technical glitches are the last thing you want to deal with under that kind of pressure.
So to sum this all up, the March 31st, 2026 deadline is not just another date on the calendar.
Not at all. It is the gatekeeper for the entire KKDIK registration timeline. It's the prerequisite for everything that follows.
The final advice for the industry.
Don't wait. The time to act is now. Whether you're a lead or a co-registrant, ensure you have the expertise you need, either in-house or externally. The risk of market disruption is simply too high to ignore.
And for anyone listening who needs assistance with this process, perhaps with only representative services or overall compliance strategy.
There is support available. REACHLaw Turkey offers comprehensive compliance services for KKDIK, for both lead and co-registrant obligations.
For those interested in that support, you can contact the team directly at sales@reachlaw.fi.
This deadline really is one of the most significant hurdles in this regulatory cycle. It's a defining moment for the Turkish chemical market.
Thank you for listening to this REACHLaw Deep Dive.